All right, it is the AP Sports Pod back with my second video. We're gonna go over the first round of the NFL draft. A lot of things happened. Just gonna give some insight on some of the picks, what I thought about them, and give my top five winners of the first round. So quickly, we'll just go over every pick. The first pick, Fernando Mendoza, pretty much a lock for the past month or so, or past couple months. I think it's a really good pick. Quarterback for the future for them. David Bailey. Now I did mock this in my mock draft earlier. I personally would have went with Arvell Reese, but I think David Bailey will be a good fit for that team. Pick three, Jeremiah Love to the Cardinals. Don't hate it. I really like Jeremiah Love as a prospect. He would be probably my top three, probably one of my top three prospects, just overall in the class. But I think they could have done a lot more with that pick. Hopefully, or I would have wished they could have traded out. Don't know if they could have. I don't know what offers they were given, etc. So just overall, it's a good pick. I just wish they got more for that pick. A more valuable position. Pick four, Carnell Tate. This pick was also surprising just because I thought they would go Arvell Reese at this point, but I do understand getting a wide receiver for Cam Ward. I don't hate it. I actually kind of like the pick. Pick five, Arvell Reese. It's gonna be tough just with Brian Burns, um, Abdul Carter, who was the third pick last year, Kayvon Thibodeau, who was the fifth pick in 22, and Arvell Reese. That's a lot of edge rushers for them. I can see them trading Kayvon Thibodeau, and I could also see them moving around Arvell Reese from linebacker, off-ball linebacker to edge, etc. In general, though, it's a BPA for this pick, and I usually would suggest BPA, so this is a really good pick. You're getting a top player with the fifth overall pick. Going to pick six, the Chiefs trade up with the Browns. I believe sent a third and a fifth for the sixth overall pick. I love this trade for them. I think this is really good. You get a cornerback, which I did also project them to do. You trade up a little bit, you give up the third, but you have to ensure that you're going to get the player that you want. And I think this is them, getting that insurance. Was my top rated corner in this, but him and Jermon McCoy neck and neck. But with the injuries, you go Mansour Delane. He's coming out of LSU, really good school. Um, good overall pick. Pick number seven, Sonny Styles to the Commanders. I also did talk about this in the previous mock draft that I made. I thought this was just a perfect fit. You're putting him with Dan Quinn, who trained or who coached players like Bobby Wagner and so forth. I think he's sideline to sideline linebacker. Really good pick for them. Number eight was Jordan Tyson, the second receiver off the board. I did think he was going to be the first receiver off the board just because of all the rumors. I think he's a great player. It's just the injury concerns. So that's a little worrisome, but I think this is really good for Tyler Shuck in that offense. I think that's going to unlock more for that offense. With the ninth pick, Spencer Fano, another predictive from my mock draft earlier, but I think this is a really good pick. They need offensive line. My favorite offensive lineman in the class was Vega Ione, or however you say it, Ola Vega Ione. But obviously that's a guard, and they're looking for more of a tackle. You get that with Spencer Fano, pretty good pick. Francis Mayoga, they're gonna move him to the interior because they got Illuminor and Andrew Thomas, so he can be all pro kind of guard. I like the pick. I would have went Caleb Downs just because I believe he's a top tier safety, and you could have got like a guard later in the draft, but overall it's a really good pick. I don't blame them for taking this pick. Caleb Downs taken to the Cowboys. They traded up one pick. Beautiful pick. I mean, there's not much to be said. He's the best safety in this class. He's a rare talent. I really like this pick. Caden Proctor to the Dolphins. I like this pick. I don't love it. All his tools are really good. I mean, he has the size and the measurables, but if he can continue to work on the fundamental stuff, he could be really good. It's just I don't know. His ceiling is really high, but I feel like his floor isn't as high. So that's my only worry. Um, but overall, I mean, Miami needs offensive help. They need tackle help. They need guard help. They need basically everything on that offense. So I can't blame him. Pick 13. This was a big surprise for lots of people. Ty Simpson going to the Rams. I did hear reports that Ty Simpson was loved by the Rams coaching staff, and that's why I had him going to the Cardinals because Mike LaFleur was a former Rams coaching in the Rams coaching staff. Um, I actually like this pick for them. Um, just having Ty Simpson be able to learn under Matthew Stafford for a couple years. You've seen what that did for Jordan Love, for Aaron Rodgers. This is just a really good pick for them. Now, it doesn't help their immediate future, but also that's why you go trade pick 29 for Trent McDuffie. So I think it's a good pick. And with the 14th pick, the Ravens getting Ione, I think this is an amazing pick. They needed interior offensive lineman help. They lost Linderbaum. You slide Ione at guard. I think he's going to be all pro guard. Perfect pick. Pick 15, back to back, really, really, really good picks. Ruben Bain Jr. to the Bucks. The Bucks need pass rush, and they get that with Ruben Bain. I think he was one of the blue chip players in this draft class as well. Pretty crazy he fell to pick 15. I understand why because of the arm length, but I don't believe that's going to be an issue in the NFL. I don't think it's going to affect him to the point where people are mocking him that or him going that low because of it. Great pick by the Bucks. Pick 16, Kenyon Sadiq to the Jets. The Jets get a really good blocking tight end, but he's also a really good receiving threat. He just moves. You can move him around, so you can have two tight end sets with Mason Taylor and Kenyon Sadiq, where you're able to run the ball, you're able to pass the ball, and you could also throw him in the slot. But um, we could also go to the 30th pick where the Jets took Omar Cooper Jr. Now you're talking about a receiving core that is stacked, and well, if everything goes well, is stacked. You have Garrett Wilson, Omar Cooper Jr., Adonai Mitchell as your wide receiver three, Kenyon Sadiq, who can go from slot. He's going to get a lot of targets, as well as Mason Taylor, who was a second round pick last year. Really, really good. You're really building a foundation for whoever your quarterback is going to be for the future. Pick 17, Blake Miller to the Lions. Really good pick. He's basically replacing Taylor Decker. Uh, I mean, he's a right tackle, so I'm assuming they're going to move Penei Sewell to left tackle. Overall, I like this pick. You needed offensive tackle. Pick 18, Caleb Banks to the Vikings. This pick I didn't understand as much. Now, I did mock Peter Woods to them. I do understand they need interior defensive linemen. I would have rather Peter Woods personally. Caleb Banks had injuries coming out this year. He only played 3 games this year, and I just don't know how well of a pass rusher he's going to be at the next level. But overall, I understand the thought process. Pick 19, Monroe Freeling going to the Panthers. I do understand this move. You have Ike Mekwano, who's going to be out all year at left tackle, so they signed Rasheed Walker to a 1-year deal, I believe. And also Taylor Moton is a free agent after this year. So now you're just getting insurance for if you lose Ikem Ekwonu, if you lose Rasheed Walker or Taylor Moton or all of them, you have insurance. Pick 20, the Eagles trade up with Dallas to secure Mekhi Lemon. I love this pick. This is basically your AJ Brown replacement. Different types of players, but you're filling a need that would have been there if you or when you lose AJ Brown. So Mekhi Lemon's going to be your gadget slot player who's going to do all that dirty work. He's a really good route runner and he just catches everything. I would compare him to Amon-Ra St. Brown. I know that's a pretty obvious comparison, but I don't know if he's going to be as good as Amon-Ra St. Brown, but just in general, that type of player. I love that pickup for the Eagles. Max Ihanakor, the offensive tackle out of Arizona State, really high ceiling, really low floor. This player, he has the size, he has the strength, he has the speed. He just needs to learn more. He's a very new player to the position and to the game. I think overall this can be a really good pick. I like the idea of going for a tackle to protect whoever is at quarterback, if it's Rodgers, if it's Will Howard, and whoever your future is. So I understand it totally. Akeem Mesidor to the Chargers. Really like this pick. I understand it completely. Khalil Mack is 35, 36, somewhere around that age. You're not going to have Khalil Mack for much longer. Akeem Mesidor is 25, an older prospect, but having him next to Tuli, his whatever his name is, having him right next to him, it's a really good 1-2 duo. You lost Odafe Owe as well, so that's a really good pickup. You're securing your future as well as he's a win now ready type of player. Um, Great pickup. Malachi Lawrence, I understand that they need edge rush help, so I understand the pickup. I don't necessarily agree with the pick, or I would have thought they would have traded down a little bit more if they wanted the player like a Malachi Lawrence. Um, Honestly, I would have thought they would trade down a little bit farther, and if he's not there, you could get like a Cassius Howell type of player. But I understand the pick. You need edge rush help. Understandable. Casey Conception, pick 24 to the Browns. Also understandable pick. They needed receivers. Casey Conception, obviously a receiver. I would have preferred Omar Cooper Jr., but I understand the pick. Pick 25, Dylan Thieneman to the Bears. I really like this pick. I thought he was a top 20 lock for sure. I didn't think he was gonna go past either like 18. I didn't think he was going past 18, but for sure not past 19, and he does. So Dylan Thieneman, really, really good pick overall. You lose both Byard and Brisker, so now you got Kobe Bryant, who you got from free agency, and now you got Thieneman on a rookie deal. Perfect, perfect, perfect for the Bears. Pick 26, Kalen Rutledge. This pick kind of confused me the most. Obviously, the Texans need help on the offensive line. I just did not like the pick. I thought there was other players that they could have taken besides Rutledge. Hopefully, it all works out for them. Pick 27, the Dolphins trade up with the 49ers, pick up Chris Johnson. Totally understand this pick. He's a really good corner. Now you just need to see him do it against better competition. But obviously he's coming into a room that doesn't have as much talent, so he's gonna have to start and he's gonna have to play well. So hopefully, as he continues in the NFL, he can continue to learn to develop. Pick 28, the Patriots take Caleb Lomu, getting their tackle in that room. Obviously he's gonna go with Will Campbell. I believe he's gonna be put on the right side. Morgan Moses, I believe, is still there, so he's going to learn under Morgan Moses, or they might move him into a guard position. I understand the pick, though. Pick 29, Peter Woods to the Chiefs. I like this pick. I think it's going to be good for him to learn alongside of Chris Jones. You're getting that mentorship from Chris Jones. It's just overall a really good pick for them. And he's just a good player. He was projected a top 5 pick last year. Obviously did not perform to those expectations, but overall, really good pick. I like that pick for them. Pick 30, Jets trade up with the 49ers, who end up trading all the way down to the second round, and they pick Omar Cooper Jr. Really like this pick. They needed a receiver. Obviously, you got Kenyon Sadiq and you got David Bailey, but why not move up a couple picks and get a third first round pick, get him on the 5th-year option, and get a player that's really going to help whoever's at quarterback in the next 2 years, and it's going to help Geno Smith. This offense is really coming together. Obviously, you do not have your quarterback for the future, but you have Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Kenyon Sadiq, Omar Cooper Jr. Adonai Mitchell is still a player that you should have a little bit of belief in. Your offensive tackle situation set with Membu and the kid out of Penn State. I'm forgetting his name, but Fashanu. Overall, your offense is getting really set up well. And defense, you could continue to pour in, and you still got the second overall pick with David Bailey. Really good pickup. Pick 31, the Titans trade up in the first round with Buffalo, who continuously traded back, also are in the second round. Pick up Keldrick Falk. I think this is a good pickup. It fits the Robert Saleh scheme. He's a bigger defensive lineman, and he's also just, if he can't figure it out at edge rusher, he can gain weight and be put into the interior D line. I worry about his pass rush moves and how he's going to do in that kind of area, but hopefully with Robert Saleh, he's able to teach him and he could continue to develop in this system. And the final pick 32, Jadarian Price to the Seahawks in my mock draft, I did say I did not think they would do this. I understand the thought process of doing it though, because there's no other running backs in this draft that are as good as those top two from Notre Dame, and you weren't going to get them in the back end of the second round. So it was either now or never. Go get your running back of the future. You have him for 5 years, and from there you can figure out what you want to do next. With that being said, we just went over kind of all of the first round. Very quickly, I'm going to just go over my top 5 winners. Starting off, I'm going to go over the Kansas City Chiefs. I think overall, with their 2 first round picks, I think they picked 2 really good players, filling needs with the cornerback position after losing McDuffie and Jalen Watson, as well as getting a replacement or a future replacement for Chris Jones when he retires. 2 really good players and 2 good picks. The second winners I'm going to go over for this first round are the Baltimore Ravens getting Ione. Like I said before, he has the potential to be all pro guard. I think he might. I think he probably will. And having him to protect Lamar, which is your biggest asset, it's very much a good pick for them. Third winners of the draft, in my opinion, for the first round, is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers getting Ruben Bain Jr. Originally, I had him mocked Kenyon Sadiq. Would have thought that would have been a good fit with them, but you can't pass up on Ruben Bain Jr. You need edge rush help, or you need pass rush help from the edge. You're getting that with Ruben Bain Jr. I thought he was a greater prospect than falling to 15 and keeping him in Miami. I just think this is a really good pick overall for them. The fourth winner I have is the Philadelphia Eagles with Makai Lemon, and these winners are not in order. I'm just saying my first round winners in general. Makai Lemon, them trading up for Makai Lemon, getting a receiver for the future, put next to Devontae Smith. Don't have to worry about it now. You get a first or a second round pick for AJ Brown, and you move on from him, and you have Smitty, Lemon, Hollywood Brown, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts. Really good pieces for that offense. And my last winner is the Bears with Dylan Thieneman, getting a rookie safety to go next to Kobe Bryant. You replaced both safeties that you lost in free agency with younger players. Obviously, Jaquan Brisker is a young player, but you're going even younger with Thieneman. And Kobe Bryant is a good fit for this defense. Really good picks overall. But what did you guys think about the first round of the draft? It was very interesting in my opinion. I thought this draft has been very interesting compared to other drafts. It's a lot more depth, not as high as talent, but drop your guys' comments in the drop some comments in here. Let me know what you guys thought. Let me know who you guys thought was the winners, who are the losers, and drop a like, subscribe if you enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace out.